Coach Cornelius Jackson, Corny Jackson, 3 years on the floor as the Marshall point guard, 8 years as an assistant coach to Coach D'Antoni. Now, year one as the head coach at Marshall University, your alma mater. Sure, as the season approaches, the men's team plays UPike at 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, season opener against Davis and Elkins, Monday, November the 4th. And I guess even for a veteran, your heart's probably pumping pretty well, doing it for the first time as a head coach.
Yes, Steve. First of all, it's an honor to be the head coach of my alma mater. We're fired up. You know, the guys have been really, working hard, doing everything that we're asking them. We've been pushing them pretty hard, and they've been responding pretty well. So we're excited for Sunday.
Questions for Coach Jackson?
Hey, Coach Corny Jackson, you remember you got to sit in the right seat. Now you have to move down a little bit. But what are you most excited about being the head coach and taking over your program? What's just got you really fired up?
Well, Keith, we focus on the process. All right, so since taking over, it's kind of been, they say when you're the head coach, it's your process. So we're more focused on that, and it'll be interesting to see because the guys, like I said, they've been working tremendously hard at the things we're asking them to do. So it's going to be fun to kind of watch it unfold for the first time against another opponent.
You wake up every morning. I know you were always fired up to get here, but when you wake up each day, just how fired up are you to get down here to the Henderson Center and get to work since you were named the head coach? What's that been like?
It's funny. It's funny you asked that question. I talked with the team 2 days ago, and I just reminded them how blessed we were. So every day I wake up and every day I walk into my office, I realize how blessed I am to be the head coach here at Marshall. It's something that dear to my heart and something I don't take for granted.
Coach, now that you're taking this team over, it's your team. Has there been a moment in practice or just being with the team where it started to click that, okay, this is my team now, and they're starting to do the things that to maybe take your form, your shape, your identity?
Yeah, the term "my team" is kind of cliche, right? I don't really look at it like that. I look at it as our team. Nate, Mike Dawson, and Obina, and I can keep going on and on and on. So I don't really like the term "my team." I think it's our team. I think it's Marshall's team. I think it's Huntington's team. And again, we're just so excited. They passed me the keys to kind of lead the charge, and I'm excited about that every day. But again, it's our team. It's not Corny Jackson's team.
Has anything surprised you? I know you're a veteran here and being here 8 years, but has anything popped up and surprised you being the head coach or out of the players?
Surprised out of the players?
Yeah, has any player stepped up and surprised you like, oh, this guy's better than I thought, or anything like that?
Well, we believe, all 16 of our guys have been working really hard. We believe in all of them. Nate Marton has stood out, the most to me, and just watching his process and the work he's put in since he's been here, and how he so much offensively he's developed his game, and he's making threes now. I want to say in practice he's probably Nate 5 for 10, and that's something that's different, something that's unique for him because he's never taken a three until he got here, and he still hadn't taken one in the game. So maybe he'll take one Sunday and surprise a lot of people.
Transition from assistant to head coach. What's been the biggest challenge maybe or change, something you didn't expect, something that maybe jumped out that surprised you now as a head coach?
I think the biggest change has been the time. It's a little bit more time demanding than as assistant. As assistant, you're pretty much worrying about recruiting, and then you're worried about scouting reports, obviously, when the season starts. But, since taking over as a head coach, now it's recruiting, it's meeting, it's yesterday we were out passing out season tickets. We left the season tickets, and then we were at the student union, just passing out folders, just trying to get some student engagement. So mainly just the time commitment that it takes to being a head coach is probably the biggest adjustment for me.
Speaking of recruiting, how do the newcomers look, and how are they blending in with the returnees?
They look pretty good. It was a priority for us to not only add good basketball players but good young men to our locker room that represent Marshall, obviously in a first-class manner. and those guys have been doing that a great job of that since they've been here.
So when fans come out to see you on Sunday, what should they expect to see? What's the takeaway you want them to walk away from after the first game?
I want them to realize that it's a team that's going to come out and play hard every single time we step on the floor, play for one another, have fun doing it, and represent this university in a first-class manner.
You spent a lot of time on the staffs with Coach Poore, Coach D'Antoni. What'd you take away from being an assistant under those guys?
You know, each stop was different. I got my start from with Coach Poore at West Virginia State. I spent 6 years with him. Then I went to UT Martin and was with Jason James and then Gary Waters. A lot of you guys have been around here for a while. You remember that name. He was at Kent State back when I was a player here. Then here at Marshall under Coach D'Antoni. Learned something different at each spot. Coach Waters was a defensive guy, so you know he kind of spent a lot of time on defense. Jason James kind of gave me the freedom to come in. We were around the same age. He was a younger head coach, so he gave me the freedom to do a lot of things. Coach Poore, we had a previous relationship, obviously from here, and Coach and I kind of thought alike on how we wanted things to look at West Virginia State in terms of being aggressive and playing hard and being athletic. But learned a lot from Coach, and then obviously came here. After Coach Waters came here with Coach D'Antoni and learned a lot from him. You know, he gave me the freedom to expand and grow as a head coach, and for that I'm always indebted to him.
With the situation where you have been on staff, so being a head coach is a new part, but a benefit I would assume that you knew the guys, most of the guys already, you recruited the newcomers, that kind of thing. The West Virginia aspect of this, you brought back a Huntington guy we're going to hear from in a little bit. You have a staff of West Virginia. Coach D'Antoni was really big into that. What's your perspective on that, and how much the state and having West Virginia roots means to you?
It means a lot, Steve. You know, my focus is again, to bring the best talent possible, here to Marshall University to represent this program in a high regard, high manner. And we look amongst the state first, you know, before we look anywhere else. You know, and I think the state has some talented people. Obviously, Mike Dawson, you talk about the Rob Forfords. We have Mark Klein on staff. We have Adam Williams, who was Player of the Year in the state of West Virginia, went to Kentucky, came back and played at Marshall. So, again, we want to look inward first before we start, you know, looking outward. But, you know, bringing talented people to the table, whether it's players, whether it's coaches, whether it's people on my staff or on our staff, is really important to me.
What now is in your mind as you transition, number one, from practicing, you guys are working with and against the same guys every day. Now you get to see something different with you, Pike, on Sunday, and then ultimately the regular season starts a week around. What kind of things are you trying to transition, and will you learn from the team, seeing them go against stuff they might not necessarily be ready for like they are in practice?
Well, you know, we've been trying to throw different situations at them to try to prepare them for that. Again, our focus is the process. You know, we understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. So our focus right now is just being 1% better every day. Our jobs as coaches, me as the head coach, our assistant coaches, is to throw kind of different wrinkles at them and see how they respond. But, you know, playing against a different opponent that may bring a different aspect. At the end of the day, it's still basketball, but everybody plays a little different. So they'll bring a different aspect on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see how well our guys respond to that.
All right, Coach Corny Jackson, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Marshall's Nate Marton, a senior from Houston, named last week first team preseason All-Sun Belt Conference. Last year averaged a double-double for the Thundering Herd. Also became just the fifth different player in Marshall history to log a triple-double. He had that 15-point, 12-rebound, 10 assists game against Old Dominion. So, Nate, season's almost here, getting ready to go. What's been your what has your off-season been like, and what kind of things are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, it's been a good off-season. We've put in a ton of work, obviously, with Corny here now. Just kind of getting adjusted to all the new guys. I think the new guys we brought in are great people, great basketball players, hard workers. And then the guys we brought back from last year, the same. So it's been an off season kind of trying to get that chemistry, work with them, and figure each other out.
Questions for Nate?
With you and Obina coming back this year, everybody has options nowadays. Was it the fact that Coach Jackson was going to stick around and got his first coaching job that kind of helped you say, I want to be here again this year?
Oh yeah, I think the fact that Corny got the job was really, I love that because he's a great guy. He was the main one that recruited me here, so I have a great relationship with him. I think he's a great guy. He pushes us, he develops us, and I think, I wanted to be here for the new chapter of his career too.
Once you kind of got in here, arrived, and kind of started getting your bearings about you, how happy were you? And obviously, I think based on your success, it's been a good move for you.
Yeah, I was super happy. I just felt welcomed and treated like family right away. Obviously, coming in, never lived outside of Texas before. It was an adjustment. Got a little homesick at times, but I think the community, the guys, the coaches here just really took me under their wings and kind of welcomed me for who I was.
Nate, coaches are always evaluating players. You've got a unique situation going from Dan to Corny. How would you evaluate his transition, and how fun's that been for you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Corny, he's been awesome so far. He's just the energy levels and really just all the energy that's in practice has just been through the roof. And I think guys are really working harder. He's pushing guys just in ways I haven't seen before.
3-pointers, huh? You gonna shoot some of those this year?
That's the plan.
Is that really part of the game that you've worked on some, that we might see some different outlooks from you?
Yeah, that's definitely something I've been working on all summer. I have to give credit to RT Ryan Taylor. He's been with me every day for about an hour or two a day since the end of last season, just working on the tedious little parts of the jump shot. He's definitely helped me a lot, just encouraging me, teaching me, and kind of developing that aspect of my game.
Thank you.
So you are a real veteran of the Sun Belt Conference, maybe more so than some of the guys here. What is your perspective on, what's the league going to be like this year? How competitive? What kind of things does Marshall face this year?
Yes, I think, with the transfer portal and everything now, everyone has a brand new team. But the kind of theme I've seen through my past 4 years in the Sun Belt has just been the physicality of the league. No matter who you play, whether it's the 1 seed or the last seed, it's always a tough physical game. You can never walk into a game thinking it's going to be a cakewalk because there's always some type of physicality, edge going on.
What sort of things are you most excited about to get the regular season going now? The fans' first game Sunday and then playing D&E.
I think just being back in front of the fans and playing against another team. We've been practicing, playing against each other, beating up on each other for the past 3 months, 4 months now. So, it gets kind of old beating up, playing the same guys. So it'd be cool to play someone else, get back in front of that crowd, and feel that energy again.
You've been other places, so when you came here, you play in the Henderson Center in front of that crowd. What was your impression the first time you did that, and what have you come to appreciate about your home games here?
Oh, yeah, I had goosebumps that first time running out. Ran out, the crowd was cheering during the plays, just looking around, seeing the big crowd. That was for the first game against a non-D1 school, and it was packed out. And just obviously last year record-wise, we didn't have a great year, but just the continued support throughout the year was just awesome. It made us feel so loved and just supported by the community.
Nate, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, next up, Mike Dawson, finally wearing the green and white after most of us have watched him play basketball for many, many years at Huntington High, then at Huntington Prep, 2-time West Virginia Player of the Year. Back home after playing at the University of Akron, and just what's your summer been like back in Huntington and getting ready for a final year of basketball, this one with a Herd?
Summer's been fun. It's been real interesting, been fun working with a bunch of new guys, But I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to start playing. I can't wait to play in front of the camp for the first time ever.
Questions for Mike?
Mike, just seeing you at the Hoops in Huntington, the outdoor event, and a lot of your family was there. What did it start to resonate with you that this could be a fun year, just you being right at home and having so many people that have seen you and watched you and cared for you to be able to watch you play?
Yeah, so I do think it's going to be a fun year, and it's funny because I was talking to some of my friends in the summer that I was like, man, it hasn't really even like hit me that I'm actually playing for Marshall. Like it won't hit me until that first game, and I just can't wait.
You kind of wrap it up here, where you cut your teeth on the game that you fell in love with.
What was it again?
Just is it a fitting end, after you cut your teeth on basketball here locally when you were a young kid to, kind of have this chance to, as you grew, from, a young high school guy to, what you become? Is it kind of fitting to wrap it all up here in Huntington?
Oh yeah, I think it's probably the best fitting ever right now. I mean, to start off playing here, Huntington High, Huntington Middle, Huntington Prep, then going away, it was kind of difficult because I couldn't play in front of like my friends and family, and just to do it here for my last go round.
Important was Coach Jackson and his coaching staff and your process to want to come back to Marshall to make that possible for you?
He was a big factor. I mean, I just liked the energy that he brought about the team, and just for him just to bring me home. I got nothing but love for Coach Corney.
Obviously, you could have gone other places as well. Other than it just being your hometown and family, what else sold you on coming to Marshall?
I don't know. That's kind of tough because, like you said, it's just home. I mean, I've been here my whole life. I've been playing at every level besides college here, and kind of growing up, you in the back of your mind as a kid, you kind of like wonder what it's like to play at Marshall. So I feel like it's just why not.
Growing up in Huntington, obviously Marshall games, I remember seeing you and Tavian Marton and some of those guys coming to these games. To think that you were one of those kids in the crowd that watched those games, and now you're going to be the guy that the kids in the crowd are watching. Is that sort of a turn moment for you, and something a lot of people in this community know who you are, and you know that there's a standard because people look up to you?
Yeah, it's overwhelming with joy because like growing up, I used to like come to the camp watching. Like I even remember watching like the Demir Pigs playing here, John Elmore, all those guys, Stevie Browning. So it's definitely fun to be here, and I can't wait.
What's the first thing you remember about a Marshall basketball game?
The first thing I remember is just the crowd. Like it's always packed out here, and that's really what I'm looking forward to. And now that I'm home and all my friends and family are gonna be here, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And how ready are you now to get it going again? You've been practicing against your guys, but ready to play somebody else?
Oh, I'm super ready. Like words can't even explain how ready I am right now.
What do you think you're adding to this team?
I feel like I'm adding a lot of energy, experience, hard-nosed playing, just everything really.
All right. Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, another guy you guys all know very well by now, Wabena Anachili Killen, senior from Lagos, Nigeria, by way of Chapmanville in Logan County. Preseason, All Sun Belt Conference, 185 career block shots, 11 away from the Marshall career record, and already in his career over 1,200 points and over 600 rebounds with a season to go. Just how ready are you now for one more go-round here in Huntington?
Oh, yeah. I'm, really ready. This is my last year, so, I've been working hard for this.
Questions for Wabena?
You're now one of the older guys, but how much have you learned here? And now, when you and Nate decided, hey, let's run it back with Coach Jackson, was this all part, of the plan when you knew Coach Jackson was getting the job? Let's do it here and finish it up.
Yeah. Obviously, you want to, finish good. Especially being my last year down here, I want to, make it memorable. So that was one of the reasons why I decided, I don't want to leave this place. And you know, the fans and Corny, you know, I call him Corny, but you know, he's been here for me. So like when I heard he got the job, I was excited, and yeah.
Obina, how much has West Virginia meant to you? Because obviously you came there, a transitional point in a young guy's life, and you started there with Chapmanville, and now here all these years later at Marshall.
Yeah, it's been a lot to me. You know what I mean? You know, coming all the way from Nigeria down to West Virginia, you know, it was like, why aren't you in the city or somewhere like that? But, this place, I've made, a lot of name for myself. A lot of people say, West Virginia, there ain't nothing here. It's just mountains and this and that. But you can make a name for yourself anywhere.
Cheers. So as one of the veterans, how much more of a leadership role have you taken with this team? And had you had to assert that already as you get these new guys ready?
Yeah, I try to assert that with my voice. I was in, a big talker, in the past couple years. So this year I try to, use my voice a lot.
What have you improved on the most from last season to this season?
My decision making, especially putting the ball on the floor. There was a lot of times where, when I get in the pins, I brush myself. So I try to, slow down and make some decisions, coming down around the pins, looking for people.
Says he's going to shoot more three-pointers.
Oh, yeah.
This year. You got any advice for him being a big man who shoots out there?
Hey, all I'm going to say is keep shooting. Literally, just keep shooting. But he improved his shot a lot, which is crazy. Like, you guys are going to see it, and you guys are going to be, like, amazed. But, yeah, he hits it in practice. But, yeah.
Obina, for me, the beauty of being a guy from around here is I've watched you and Mike grow up. I also watched you all battle in high school. I watched you all battle when he was at Akron. What's it like to have Mike on your team now and to sort of put that together? Y'all played pickup ball. Y'all have done everything together.
Yeah. He's big time. I love his energy. He can shoot the ball pretty well and stuff. But the big part of it is his leadership. I mean, he's one of the vocal guys. Him and Nate, push the guys every single time. We're going to need that this season for sure.
Who's going to be the surprise to the fans? Somebody who's back that maybe has a bigger role, different role this year. Who's going to catch Marshall fans by surprise?
Wyatt Fricks. Yeah, Wyatt Fricks. He's improved a lot, from his shot, from his shooting to decision making and everything. He's definitely improved.
What is the thing that has you most excited about now playing games? Been practicing, but now you're going into play games, playing other teams.
Well, you get to play people. You get to play different players and in front of crowds and stuff. Those parts is exciting. I love the guys and stuff, but it's about time for us to start playing different people.
All right, thank you, Obina.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody. Again, 4 o'clock for the men's game, and then the women's game to follow at about 6:30. Marshall against U Pike Sunday. We'll see you there.